We have a privilege to be here with Bob Stewart, who is the founder of Meridian, and Roland Markham, International Sales. And we're going to talk about what's hot here at the CEDIA US, which you've showed us in a sort of a preview in the CEDIA UK. But you're going to explain in much more detail. Roland, do you want to give us a little more detail on that?
Thank you, Bob. That's right. We showed at CEDIA in the UK for the first time the first models in our new in-wall and on-wall loudspeaker range called the 300 series. And here at CEDIA in the USA, we're now able to show both in demonstration and here on the stand statically the whole line of loudspeakers and some of the evolution of that line as well, things that are still to come to the market. So behind me on the wall, we're showing not only all of the different size options that we have, starting at 320, which is the smallest of the 300 series loudspeakers, a two-way design. We have the 330, which is a two-way design with an addition of a passive bass radiator. And then the largest, which is called 350, which uses twin bass drivers and twin passive bass radiators. The line also gives us options that we can see. Here we have a traditional in-wall loudspeaker, which has a frame and grille and mounts as a traditional in-wall loudspeaker. We also have, in all sizes, an on-wall variant, which suits certain construction types in certain markets much, much better than the in-wall variant. This can be hung directly on the wall. It's a completely sealed loudspeaker enclosure, exactly the same internal characteristics and drive characteristics that we find inside the in-wall loudspeakers, so we get consistency in performance along the line. The third option, which we're showing, is best shown here with the subwoofer option. And this is a flush mount where there's no part of the loudspeaker which is external on the walled surface. So for installers who are building home theatres where all of the loudspeakers are hidden behind one large grille screen or they're behind the projection screen itself, these fit much better into those installations. As well as these three pieces from the 300 series, which I've mentioned, we have 200 series in ceiling loudspeakers. Again, we showed those at CEDIA in the UK, and we had those active in the demonstrations that we had at CEDIA in the UK. But we're showing here for the first time the in-wall subwoofer option and the control unit which is designed to function with that. This control unit is able to power and control two subwoofers in the system, and the subwoofers which we're offering have a single 10-inch bass driver and again a passive bass radiator to work with them. Right at the end of the line you can see our first loudspeaker, our first in-wall loudspeaker. This is called 420, and we make an analog and a digital active version of this loudspeaker. These differ from the 300 and 200 series loudspeakers because these, like our floor standing loudspeakers, they have all of the electronics housed inside the same chassis as the loudspeaker itself. This gives the installer different I will say problems, but there are different aspects to face with the installation. He's got to look at running high voltage to this, and with the DSP version, he's looking at wiring it with the same network as the other DSP loudspeakers in the range. All of these that you can see here are available in two formats. They're available as traditional passive loudspeakers, or they're available as active loudspeakers. The difference in the active versions compared to our other active loudspeakers, our floor-standing active loudspeakers, is that this time we serve the electronics to make it active up in a separate housing. It makes the installation process much more simple and much more straightforward. In fact, houses that are pre-wired with regular speaker cable, you can put these straight in. Houses where you're upgrading an installed loudspeaker system, you can put these in again because it relies on regular speaker wire, and the magic comes from the active electronics which are on the side. I'm going to hand over to Bob now, who's going to talk a little bit more about the detail of the active process, some of the features of the G41, the product which controls the active in walls, and talk to you about the process of doing that.